pledge your allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Monica Duran,
Here.
Zachary Urban,
Present.
Janice Hoppy,
Present.
George Pond,
Present.
Christy Davis,
Here.
Tim Fitzgerald,
Here.
Larry Matthews,
Here.
Genevieve Wooden.
Present.
Madam Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Are there any changes to the council minutes of May 8th or the study session notes of May 1st? Hearing none, they do stand approved as presented. We're going to move right into proclamations and ceremonies, starting with the West Chambers Nonprofit of the Year Award. Britta, if you would please come forward, that'd be great. This is a happy award. We've got a lot of happy, recognitions. At the recipient of the West, this is a proclamation recognizing local works as the recipients of the West Council 2017 Nonprofit of the Year. Whereas Local Works, chartered in 2005 and formerly known as Wheat Ridge 2020, is a nonprofit 501c3 organization advancing Wheat Ridge as a vibrant and sustainable community. And whereas West Chambers selected Local Works as the 2017 Nonprofit of the Year at their annual Chairman's Gala, and whereas the West Chamber presents the Nonprofit of the Year Award to an organization that exemplifies making our community a better place to live and work by advocating for positive change within the Jefferson County community, and whereas by receiving this award, Local Works is recognized by the West Chamber as an organization that does an exceptional job of promoting Wheat Ridge as a great place to work, live, and play. And now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Joyce J., Mayor, and the Wheat Ridge City Council recognize and congratulate Local Works as the recipient of the 2017 West Chamber Nonprofit of the Year. And let me introduce Britta Fisher, Executive Director. Did you want to say a few words? Please do.
Thank you, Mayor Jay and City Council. It's a real honor to be acknowledged by the West Chamber in this way as Nonprofit of the Year for our many accomplishments. We want to thank all of our partners across the community, our many volunteers, our board, and our great staff team, and everyone here at the city for all of your support in helping us build an even better community here in Wheat Ridge. Thank you.
Now I have a proclamation for National Public Works Week. Whereas the public works services provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as streets and highways, bridges, sewers, water drainage, public buildings, and whereas the health, safety, and quality of life of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services, whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now, therefore, I, Joyce J., Mayor of the City of Wheat Ridge, do hereby proclaim the week of May 21 through 27 as National Public Works Week. And in the City of Wheat Ridge, I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions which public works officials make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality. quality of life. Scott, would you like to step forward? Scott Brinks, our Public Works Director.
Thank you, Mayor Jay, members of the council. I just want to take a minute here to recognize, as part of National Public Works Week, our own Public Works Department here in the city of Wheat Ridge. There's about 30 of us, men and women, split, more or less equally in two divisions. We have an operations division and an engineering division, and I have two people here, one representative from each division here tonight. I have John Madrano from our operations division and Mark Van Natten from the engineering division. And I'd just like to recognize Mark and John, but everybody in Public Works that works behind the scenes. They do their job so well, and you don't even know they're there. That's because they do their job so well. And if they didn't, you would know that. Myself, Mark Westberg out there, you see our faces here enough times, but you never really get to see the faces of the people that are out there really making things happen. And what I can especially appreciate about John and Mark is they're always looking to raise the bar and find ways to do things better. John, for example, in addition to the things that we take for granted, getting the snow off the roads, getting the water to drain, patching the potholes and that, he also does most of the legwork with our utility locating. And that's, we have lots of construction activity going on in the city, not just our own crews, but we have Excel contractors, all sorts of people out there. John coordinates a lot of that locating work out there to make sure all that is done safely. And one of the things he's done is he's worked real closely with our IT department to electronically use our tablets out in the field, using our data in a lot more efficient manner that we can, instead of using the old manual paper ways of doing things, it's all electronic now, and we can do it right from the field, from their trucks with tablets, and that's really helped speed up our operations and our customer service. Mark has been with the city for, what's it been, 3 years now? And Mark, too, has raised the bar. He does a lot of behind-the-work support work for our plan reviews, community development. He does a lot of our plan reviews for a lot of the activity you see going on, redevelopment-wise especially, platting, helping out with building permit reviews, making sure everything's done correctly. So, he's really helped elevate the engineering division to a improved level with customer service, not just internally, but externally with our customers too. So I just really wanted to use this opportunity to thank not just John and Mark, but the whole Public Works division for all the great work they do. Thank you.
Thank Well, we have one more recognition that's pretty darn interesting. The Jefferson County Council on Aging is an advocacy group of volunteers whose mission is to identify and address the needs, concerns, and issues of older adults in Jefferson County. Annually, the council joins the Senior Resource Center to review nominations from all over Jefferson County with the goal to honor seniors called the Senior Hero Awards. This jointly judged award goes to recognize the outstanding and continuing contributions that senior volunteers make daily throughout Jefferson County. These awards were already presented by the Jefferson County Commissioners at a special award luncheon, but this is our opportunity to meet the Wheat Ridge recipients. Of 8 recipients, 4 were in Wheat Ridge, and I'm pretty proud of that. So we are recognizing these 3 individuals and 1 couple, and I'm not sure what combination we have, but I'm going to give you their names, and I'm going to ask them to come forward. However, I am proud to ask all 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you to come forward, so we can give our applause after I read the information about you. So let me get these names here. Glenda Emery. Glenda, would you come forward? Glenda is 87 years old and has volunteered 35 hours per month for 20 years. As a retired nurse, Glenda worked in the Lutheran Medical Center emergency department doing triage, then moved to doing bookkeeping and counting money for the gift shop. Her great love is the Jefferson County Action Center, where she's known as the Book Lady. Is that correct? Not, I think we have a character on our hands here. And she manages and sorts book donations for the beautiful junk sale. She helps with the school supplies program, distributing donated school supplies to needy children, and works in the Santa workshop during the holidays. She has gotten her 2 grandchildren to join her at the Jeffco Action Center. And now I'm going to call Jerry Matthey forward. Jerry, at 86 years old, 87, I've been corrected. Now, and volunteers 25 hours per month for 46 and a half years. Jerry's help has been invaluable, volunteering for Lutheran Medical Center, as she has assembled information packets for new hospital patients and has assisted the pharmacy by counting prescriptions and assembling medication packets. Her kindness toward others and her cheerful attitude make her stand out. Paul Stauff. Paul, would you come forward? Paul calls himself the youngster. He's 70 years old and volunteers 64 hours per month for 7 years. Paul is a volunteer driver for the Seniors Resource Center, taking clients to medical appointments and radiation treatments and trips to the grocery store. He is independent and dependable and shows respect for all of the older adults he shuttles to appointments from his base at the Wheat Ridge Recreation Center. Paul has a terrific attitude toward everyone. If he were in a paid role, he would be a dream employee. Instead, for 7 years, he's been a dream volunteer. And I don't have, there was a couple, but I don't believe they're with us, which is George and Marie McLaughlin. And I don't see them. So let's give that hand of applause to our volunteers. Don't they get like a hit or something? Yeah, I know. Yeah, the coins. We're mumbling up here. We would love to have the police chief give one of our coins to our volunteers.
Absolutely, we'll take care of that.
All right. Thank you. You're going to get a coin. It's really cool from our police department. We will take care of that. So we'll keep in touch with you. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. We're going to move to citizens' right to speak, starting with Leah Dozman, followed by Catherine Wortham, I believe it is. Not positive.
Hello, good evening, Council and Mayor. My name is Leah Dozman. I am a lifelong resident, and I currently reside at 4364 Hoyt Street. I've lived there for 22 of my 26 years, and I am very honored and privileged to be raising my 2 boys in my childhood home and having the ability to recreate some of the experiences that I was able to have as a child, such as walking our dogs, along the Greenbelt, attending the annual Carnation Festival, which I serve on the board for, and one which is currently at risk, walking and biking to our neighborhood school. I attended Pennington Elementary as a young child, and my oldest son, is currently a preschooler there and going into their kindergarten. Some of you may not know that Jefferson County unexpectedly put 5 elementary schools on a closure list in January, one of which was Pennington Elementary, and it has been very devastating to our community. And for anyone that has lived in Wheat Ridge long enough to have experienced the Martinson Elementary school closure, we know what kind of impact it has on our community. And so I am here asking all of you, and especially those in District 4, to rally around this school and support our students, past, present, and future. My son is just set on being able to ride his bike and walk to school, and I really want him to have that opportunity. So I'm here on behalf of Pennington and our families, and I would like to ask council members and the community to join us for our enrichment program tomorrow evening, Tuesday. It's from 4 to 6 p.m., and it's going to showcase all of the wonderful enrichments that Pennington's longer extended learning day program allow for. So some of the classes are cooking classes, health classes. Corey Stites from Personal Achievement Martial Arts comes and teaches a class. You know, it's very engaging with community businesses, and it's just a wonderful program that I would like to see the community rally behind. I'm asking for you to show up on behalf of our schools. We need you to show up at the school board meetings. We need you to advocate for us. We need you to advocate for our students so that they can have a future in Wheat Ridge. If we were to see another neighborhood school close, I feel that we would lose the opportunity to attract young families to the area. Pennington closing would mean that District 4 would not have a neighborhood school, and that's absolutely devastating. This school serves a very low-income population, and I know that sometimes that comes with a negative connotation, but this school is amazing. The students are wonderful, and they have amazing things going on. So I would like to encourage all of you to join us tomorrow, Tuesday, May 23rd, from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Enrichment Showcase, and then stay for the carnival, have some fun, bring your children, and come check it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. That was tomorrow evening at Pennington, 4 to 6 p.m., right? What's the address of Pennington? Independence? And about 4,500? Independence? Okay, great. Thank you very much. Catherine Withian? I'm not sure about the pronunciation. Oh, right. Now I know who it is. Thank you, Catherine.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much, Mayor, for having me. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Catherine Workus. I am the new constituent services person in Congressman Ed Perlmutter's office. I've actually been with the Congressman for a little bit over 5 years. I work all of his military and veterans issues, but I'm taking the Colin Annenson's place because Colin's been reassigned some other duties. So now I get to be here and represent Wheat Ridge and Edgewater. So this is kind of fun for me because I've never had what we call a geographic area. So I get to see all these wonderful new people and hear about all the interesting things going on. But I really wanted to just make sure that you know my face, my name. I'm going to leave some cards in the back. And primarily, like I said, I work military and veterans issues, and I'm a 27-year Air Force veteran. I retired in 2006. I was a manpower personnel officer, and so I guess I kind of know military stuff. And I worked 5.5 years as a veteran service officer for the state of Colorado as a VSO in the Colorado Division of Veterans Affairs. And one of the things that I really wanted to share tonight also is we have I don't know if you've ever heard of the Vietnam War Commemoration Ceremonies, that it's an office out of DOD. And so we thought we were going to have maybe, Ed really wanted to recognize our Vietnam veterans. And so we thought, yeah, we'll get maybe 30 or 40. So we better partner with the governor's office because we might not get that many. And so we had scheduled Ed to conduct one of the pinning ceremonies. Well, the first week we got 100, second week we got 600, and we're up to 800, almost 900 registered veterans who want to participate in the Vietnam War Commemoration Ceremony. So we now have 8 ceremonies instead of just 1 because Ed doesn't want it to just be a cattle call. He wants to make sure that every veteran is honored and respected. We call their name, we say their service dates, their branch of service, and we have them come up Ed gives him a pin. We have usually the Adjutant General for the state of Colorado there, General Lowe, Major General, and he presents a certificate from the state, and it's just a very nice ceremony. So if anybody's interested, if anybody is a Vietnam veteran, knows a Vietnam veteran, does not have to be in country, it's Vietnam era. So we would love to honor you and have you come to one of our ceremonies. And if you, for some reason, don't want to come, we'll still send you a pin. So come, let us know. I'm going to put my cards in the back, but you can always just go to our website, perlmutter.house.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine, for visiting us. Oh, well, I believe that's all that we have on commentary, citizen comments. We can move on to our regular agenda. Is there any changes in the agenda tonight? Nope. Okay, let's start with the consent agenda by Ms. Davis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The consent agenda is item A, motion to award 4 contracts for on-call forestry maintenance service to select vendors in the amount not to exceed $143,000. Just a little summary on this is a contracted service that the city has done for some time that manages some of the trees in Wheat Ridge area. The next one is a motion to amend the contract for environmental and engineering consulting services for Phase 1 of the Wodsworth Boulevard Improvement Project with HDR Engineering, Inc., Denver, Colorado, to incorporate additional historical evaluation and redesign in the amount of $179,984.46 for a total project cost of $1,500,148.66. And reading some of the review, that is 80% covered by CDOT. Resolution number 15-2017, amending the fiscal year 2017 Open Space Fund budget to reflect the approval of a supplemental budget appropriation in the amount of $211,167 for the purpose of awarding a contract to Callahan Construction Services, Inc. for the construction of the equipment storage building in the amount of $317,000 and a 10% contingency amount of $31,700 for a total of $348,700. Motion to award a contract. Item D is motion to award contract to iParametrics LLC, Alpharetta, Georgia, in the amount of $45,603 for facility security assessment services for city-owned buildings. They're going to be looking at several high-volume, high-citizen usage buildings to assess security issues, or just to ensure that, see where gaps may be in security. Resolution number 14, this is item E, resolution number 14-2017, amending the fiscal year 2017 general fund budget to reflect the approval of a supplemental budget appropriation in the amount of $5,000 for the purpose of accepting grant funds for the purchase of cardio fitness equipment to be installed in Hayward Park. Again, this is grant funds. Is there a motion? May I
Yes,
make
please.
a motion? Okay. I move to approve consent agenda items A, B, C, D, and E.
Second.
Motions are made and seconded. We usually have discussion at this time, and on a consent agenda, we usually just go right through it. But one of these items is 1B, excuse me, which is a 2E project. So I asked if we could have a few comments from staff as to what that covers, mostly for the interest of our citizens who we assume are listening.
Okay, so we had talked about this about a month ago, or maybe a month and a half ago, when we came before you to give an update on Wodsworth. This is just the historical work that's having to be done because of the new historian at CDOT. The $180,000 is to cover that work. The sort of initial results so far is that they've revisited 11 additional properties on the corridor that were deemed not eligible before, but we've revisited those. 4 of those have been deemed to be eligible now. 2 of those is potentially eligible, so we're looking at the impacts of all those things. What we can and cannot do on some of those properties is going to vary, and so we're going to actually have a meeting on Friday with sort of the design team to sort of, with the historians, to sort of figure out, what can we do. On some of the commercial properties, it's not a big deal to build a sidewalk right up to their front door. On some of the residential properties, it's a big deal to do anything to them at all. So we're going to be looking at all those things and trying to evaluate that. That's what that $180,000 is for, is that additional money to figure all that out. It's delayed our project about 5 months. We hope to have all this wrapped up here in mid-June and be back to charging full steam ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, if there's no further discussion, then we can go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Matthews.
Mark, it said here that part of that money is also for the redesign of the intersections at 38th and 44th. Is that correct?
No. The redesign of those intersections is one of the things that's changed recently, but that's not what this $180,000 is for. This is, there may be some ripple effect from redesigning around these historic properties that may cause some impact. I don't think any of it's going to affect the CFIs that we've got in place at 38th and 44th. These properties are the ones that are potentially a problem is right around 3 Acre Lane and up around 47th Avenue. So it's those locations where we have the sort of the issues. The Go Forward site was one that she asked about. She said that's a really great example of that architecture for that time period. Is that being remodeled or demolished? We assured her it was being demolished, and so that one came off the list very quickly. So the other properties there's 4 other properties there that are a little problematic for us if they're all deemed to be eligible.
Okay, any further questions?
Yeah, I'm still, it talks in here about change in scope for going to the CFIs.
That was part of the $120,000 contingency that we've already allocated and spent. So all that work was done last fall and then earlier this year. So we originally had a $1.3 million, $2 million contract. The contract we actually had with the consultant was $1.2 million. And we had that $120,000 contingency, a 10% contingency in case something come up. It did, the issues with the traffic that we had. We spent that $120,000 getting that all resolved. And then as we got that all resolved, then this historical thing came up, and that's where the extra $180,000 is now going.
Thank you.
Go ahead. If there's no further questions, please cast your votes.
Oh, I can't believe I did that. Please revote. I'm sorry. Motion carries 7-1 with Councilmember Matthews voting no.
Thank you. Let's move on to item number 2. Ms. Wooden?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is Council Bill number 09-2017, an ordinance amending Chapter 26 of the Wheat Ridge Code of Laws to regulate and allow small cell commercial mobile radio service CMRS facilities. At issue, during the 2017 Colorado legislative session, the legislature adopted and the governor signed House Bill 17-1193 pertaining to small cell wireless service infrastructure. As it pertains to local governments, the bill does 2 significant things. Number 1, makes such facilities a use by right in all zoning districts, and number 2, allows them to locate in public right-of-ways, ROW, on utility and traffic signal poles in those locations, and in public utility easements with some limitations and subject to city review and approval. Based on this action, staff recommends the city adopt local regulations pertaining to the design parameters and approval processes for such facilities. The bill is effective July 1, 2017, and staff has received some inquiries from the small cell industry, potentially interested in making application for facilities in the city right-of-way. As such, staff recommends prompt action to ensure the city has the ability to proactively regulate their design and location, particularly when wishing to locate in the right-of-way.
This is first reading, so we can go right to the motion.
I move to approve Council Bill Number 09-2017, an ordinance amending Chapter 26 of the Wheat Ridge Code of Laws to regulate and allow small cell commercial mobile radio service, CMRS, facilities on first reading, order it published, public hearing set for Monday, June 12th at 7 p.m. in City Council chambers, and that it take effect immediately.
May I have a second?
Second.
Second by the twins down there. Ms. Duran, please cast your votes.
Motion carries 8-0.
Thank you. Item 3, Councilmember Pond.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm happy to present resolution number 16-2017, a resolution of the Wheat Ridge City Council recognizing and supporting the mission of the Wheat Ridge Environmental Sustainability Committee. At issue, Mayor Jay appointed 11 residents to the Wheat Ridge Environmental Sustainability Committee on May 8, 2017 for a limited one-year term. The purpose of the committee is to involve the community in recommending and prioritizing environmental sustainability goals for the City of Wheat Ridge municipal operations and other community-wide sustainability efforts. The committee will provide recommendations on effective environmental programs and policies to the City Council and will serve as a forum for the community to offer input concerning environmental sustainability within the following 6 topic areas: green building, education and communication, energy efficiency and renewable energy, solid waste and recycling, transportation, and water. Is a motion in order?
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Yes.
We had a vote on this agenda item 2 weeks ago at the meeting. I believe this motion is not in order without at least a reconsideration motion preceding it.
What happened at that meeting is we decided not, we completely dropped the motion.
That was by vote.
Yes, and actually, we did vote to drop, not continue forward with the motion. It was not unnecessary. Because it was unnecessary because the mayor could make this appointment without having it go through council. I ran it through council mostly because I wanted the acceptance and approval of council, because we've got 11 citizens out there who are volunteering their time to do this. And it would be nice if our council was supportive of their efforts.
Madam Mayor, it does state in the notes that it was simply pulled from the agenda, not that it was voted.
Right, it was pulled from the agenda. We didn't. have
That
to
was
go
by
forward.
vote.
To pull it from the agenda?
I wasn't at the meeting, as you know.
No, that you were gone.
But I got text messages from Patrick and responded. You did not, if I'm not mistaken, you did not have a quorum at that meeting, correct?
No,
There was
we
not.
did at the time.
We had,
You did at the time have a quorum?
right.
Okay.
We delayed the official work until a 5th council person showed up.
Yeah, that's how it. So the motion was unnecessary to go forward. It was mostly a motion, as I said, we learned at that time that a motion was not necessary to give reverence to this group. Mr. Pond.
So just to respond to the point of order, I think regardless of whether or not that issue was voted on, and I would appreciate our city attorney's point of view on this, regardless of whether that was voted on or not, this resolution is in fact a distinct difference. So that the mayor has impaneled that group, and we decided at that meeting that was her prerogative, and that was done. So this resolution is in fact just a resolution, as it states, for City Council recognizing and supporting the mission of the Environmental Sustainability Committee. So once we get through this, we can obviously have a conversation and vote, and that'll be that. But it's only a resolution of support, and that's what it is. So I'm not sure it has anything to do with the empanelment of the committee that had already been decided at the meeting, which did not require our vote.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
Just reading from the minutes, it said, Mr. Goff cited a prior opinion by the city attorney that the mayor has the authority to appoint an ad hoc committee or ad hoc committees. Ratification was not addressed. He noted that in the past, ratification by council of mayor's appointments has been a courtesy. And point two, previous ad hoc committees have not had restrictions about funding.
So just one more clarification. This is not a ratification. This is a resolution. That's right.
If I understand, then the agenda item is for the same sustainability committee, but we've changed a few words and called it a resolution instead of a motion, so it's a whole different ballgame?
No, so the committee is already going and it's moving forward and it's done. That was done with the business of the last business meeting. As Councilmember Fitzgerald just recited from the minutes of that meeting, it was determined that it was not required to have a ratification. So again, just to be clear, this is a resolution, which is just a business item within our agenda tonight, as it states, for City Council to recognize and support the mission of the Wheat Ridge Environmental Sustainability Committee. So it has nothing to do with the ratification, the empanelment, the acceptance of those members. That has already been done.
So its purpose is, once again, recognition and support of the volunteers who will be part of this ad hoc committee. And there is nothing, whatever is accomplished via the committee will come to council in 6 weeks for determination as to whether to go forward with the suggestions made by the committee. So none of that is occurring tonight. This is merely recognition and support of the process.
There's language in here regarding financial impact and coming forward to us again in a few months for additional resources. It's not just congratulations, kids type of document.
Madam Mayor, may I please ask a question to Mr. Dahl? It's my understanding that if something is simply voted to be removed from the agenda, it does not require someone from the prevailing side to ask for it to be reconsidered. It's only if something's moved and failed that then it's required to be asked for a reconsideration. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Moved and failed, or moved and passed, for that matter. You can reconsider your substantive action on anything. If you're removing it from the agenda, you're dealing with the scheduling of when you will, consider it for disposition.
Thank you for the clarification.
Mr. Pond?
Again, thank you for the clarification. However, this is not a reconsideration, and to address the issue of funding, nothing has changed. I and the mayor have each contributed from our outreach funds, which is our prerogative. Any additional funds would obviously be part of a conversation in the future.
In the appropriate, I'll withdraw my point of order objection, and we'll continue on with regular discussion.
Is a motion in order?
Yes, the motion is in order.
I move to approve resolution number 16-2017, a resolution of the Wheat Ridge City Council recognizing and supporting the mission of the Wheat Ridge Environmental Sustainability Committee.
Second.
Was that Ms. Hoppy? Right. Motion's been made and seconded. If there's no further discussion, please cast your votes. Yes?
Yes. I have questions. What type of additional resources would they be coming forward to?
Can I respond to that?
Well, or Mr. Pond, he's the council member, but whichever of you're kind of duly supporting it, but what kind of resources will you be looking for in 3 months?
I actually, honestly, I think that's I can't predict what those might be. I mean, this is a committee that's about to start its work, and I have they've been given no intention or any direction on that matter. It's their committee, and I can't predict what they will come forward with, if anything. So, I'm not sure that there will be anything.
Ms. Davis has to speak.
So I'm just thinking, and again, I wouldn't know either because I don't know what the committee is going to talk about or focus on. But I know one thing we talked about earlier was from the company that was out of Wheat Ridge that recycled the bottles. And I know they talked about some of the, like, like separate little buckets, containers that maybe folks would our community could purchase. So, I'm just thinking, that's one thing that came up. I'm just thinking maybe it would be something that they'd be, asking us that as a city we'd contribute, $5, and the citizen would contribute $5 or something. Who knows? But I'm just thinking that might be something. But again, I don't know their scope and their works, of what they're going to address. But I know that was one thing that we talked about.
I'm going to go to some who haven't spoken. I think you were up first.
Well, I'd just like to say that I'm happy that we're doing this, and one thing that I'd like to remind all of us is that during the retreat, one of our vision statements was Wheat Ridge is committed to environmental stewardship, and one of the goals under there was specifically create sustainability department by 2018. That was one of the goals that we all agreed on in that retreat. And so I think that this is a good step towards kind of trying to figure out, laying some tracks, and kind of figuring out where we're at with the free work of our citizens that are doing this in this committee. And then we can figure out how to move forward from there.
Mr. Fitzgerald.
I was just going to say, this committee was formed to advise us on what could be done and what should be done, in order to tell us what we don't know already. So after they have reached their conclusions, they can ask for money or not. And if they do, we can vote yea or nay.
Mr. Matthews?
Just for the record, at the study session, it was mentioned that there was a hope that this committee would lead to, and this study would lead to, a full-time employee from the city. And that is my main objection. I have nothing against the committee and the work they may or may not do. I am adamantly against someone getting a toehold here to create a whole new sub-bureaucracy within the city that the taxpayers will have to support. And that's really my objection. Thank you.
Ms. Wooden?
First of all, thank you to all the people that volunteered to be on the committee. These are very knowledgeable and people who are just putting themselves forward. They're volunteering and they're willing to be on the committee and spend the time, so thank you to them. This is something our citizens have asked for years. People have wanted to know about recycling and trash and wastewater for years, so we're really behind the times in getting going on this. And every city around us already has people, either part-time, full-time, doing this. So this isn't something new that we're doing. This is something other cities are doing. There's models out there we can look at. This committee can definitely look at other models that other cities are doing, not only models of programs, but maybe innovative things, maybe the glass program, something like that. So I very much support this, and as far as any money spent, I agree that they can come forward with their suggestions and we can review it at that time and then make a decision then.
Madam Mayor. I guess one of my main questions related to the empanelment of this committee is, my understanding is Guy Namiash had made an application to be a part of this committee, and my question is, why wasn't his application considered, or why is he not a member of this committee, given that he's actually the citizen who has had a sustainable committee within Wheat Ridge for years, and if any model we're going to look at, it would be the model that Guy Namiash has created for us within the city of Wheat Ridge for many years, and really carrying that lamp and that torch of sustainability for the city for a number of years. So if we're going to do this, why is he not serving on this committee? That's to you.
I do want to respond to that. It was a very, very difficult decision regarding any and all of the members, dividing them among districts, as well as looking at a balance of different talents that they had available. And there were several people. I know I had one on there personally. I thought, wow, she'd be so good. But we had to make so many difficult decisions around who could be and who couldn't, just because all of the citizens anyone who wasn't actually on the actual board has been invited to attend, to, at least be a part of the room, et cetera. But as far as naming all of the ones, it was a tough decision. And I'm not going to go through any one particular person, but it really was. There's something else I want to say. First of all, Mr. Matthews, I appreciate your concern for us taking on a FTE, and I don't believe that was really a direction that we had in mind at all. It wasn't for me. On my end, I personally would look to other cities who at the most took on a part-time. A part-time would be a PT. What would that be? A part-time employee, whatever. What is it?
0.5 FTE is a part-time
Right.
employee or a full-time FTE.
Exactly, a part-time employee at the very most. I think that was like one of our highest ends of the goals, and looking at that full range of possibilities. We want to keep that door open. Ms. Matthews, not Ms. Matthews.
Duran.
Duran.
Thank you. I've been in support of this from the beginning. Two things I'd like to add is for us just to be mindful of any type of funding that we're going to do in the future. And also, if we could add under the six topics, homelessness, because that's part of sustainability. So I would like us to add that in their discussions. Also, I'm hoping that they're going to reach out to surrounding municipalities, kind of see how they're dealing with
That's already
these
in the
different
plan.
issues.
Yes.
Great. And different organizations, because I think we can't do this alone.
Very much so. It's amazing the amount of speakers that are capable to join us. It
And I
really
know
is.
that they're going to be reaching out to the community, the citizens, and we're going to have open communication amongst all of us. So that's my request, if we could add that homelessness discussion. I think that's really important in
I
there.
will bring that before the committee.
All right, thank you.
Anything else before we vote on this? Please cast your votes.
Motion carries 7-1 with Councilmember Matthews voting no.
Thank you. I really feel as though that's important for the citizens to know that their council, that their government is behind them as they give their time up to do this. I believe that's the end of the formal business meeting. And now we have an acting city manager tonight, Heather Geyer, who is our administrative director. Heather, do you have anything?
Yes, I just wanted to share that yesterday, under Patrick's direction, he formed two teams, relay teams that ran the Colfax local government Colfax Marathon. So we had 10 employees total participating in this event, which I think really demonstrates the city's commitment to wellness and healthy living. The team members, I'll just say their names to give recognition. Patrick Goff, our city manager, ran the first leg of Team 1, 6.5 miles. Then Tammy O'Dean in community development. Juan De Lavara, one of our police officers. Shelby Wright, also a police officer, along with Stephen Brooks, a police officer. Zach Wallace in planning. Justin Lampy at our Active Adult Center. Raina Johnson, one of our police officers. Myself, and then our one and truly Jerry Dahl. So just want to do a big shout out to these employees who stepped up and participated in this event. Several of the runners identified a specific cause to run for, and just a really great way to build teamwork and again showcase Wheat Ridge as a city that really believes in healthy living and well-being.
Thank you for sharing that. Anything else?
Nothing else.
City Attorney?
Nothing other than to thank you for the opportunity to be on the team. It was a lot of fun to run the last leg. It's always better to run the last leg because it's later in the day. It's hotter, but it's later. And there are a number of other municipal teams out there, and I'm happy to say that while we didn't beat all of them, we did come in ahead of Blackhawk. And both of our teams beat Blackhawk. Our team number 2 didn't have nearly as many police officers, and so therefore was slower than team number 1, but we didn't mind losing to them. So that's my report. Thank you.
That's great. City Clerk?
Nothing. Excuse me, nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to reverse the order.
Nothing.
Start down on this end. Mr. Matthews?
Not tonight, thank you.
Nothing tonight.
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Pond?
I'll just take a stab and again thank everyone who has volunteered to be part of the Sustainability Committee. And I do want to emphasize that I think what I've heard and hope that the discussion will be that there's going to be a lot of outside participation. I hope that the committee reaches out and asks for folks to come in and talk to them, much like has been requested up here in the dais. And so I'm encouraged by what we've started to hear, and I think when we get our report, we'll be, I think, very happy about what our options are ahead of us. Again, thank you to everyone who's volunteering to do this.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just to remind everybody that Pennington Elementary School is having their enrichment showcase Tuesday, May 23rd from 4 to 6 p.m. And Lutheran Medical Center is having their Leaves of Hope run on June 4th, I believe it is. Yes, Sunday, June 4th, 2017. And encourage everybody to come out to attend that wonderful event. Thank you.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay. I believe that's, now, I can't remember all the details on it. Martinson, the open house is Thursday, isn't it?
June 1st.
June 1st, between 4 and 5:30, something like that. This is the Police Training Center. It was the old Martinson Elementary School. Public's invited. Very, very interesting presentation. This is a regional center for training. It's pretty neat, actually. I've seen it, and it's very, very interesting. There'll be some speakers. I believe you're going to be emceeing it.
John McDonald, who's the Jefferson County person who is key in creating this whole center, he'll be the main speaker, and he'll be giving helping give tours and everything. But the center will be open, and anybody that wants to drop by and see what's in there, it's really interesting. So I encourage you to come.
Okay. That's it. Good night.